Hey, what's up, people? This is your boy Shenanigator J, and like I said, it's been a while. It's been a while, and welcome to another recording, as you can see, of the Absolute Zero podcast. What's going on? That is the title of our episode today, and like I said, I am Shenanigator J, and my tag team partner.
Unqualified gamer, aka Weeaboo Ramen.
All right, and we have a guest, not so much guest. He's pretty much a regular. Uh, can you introduce yourself, Poor Righteous Dad?
Yes, I am Dad. Uh, I've been on for for a couple of episodes, and yeah, it's pretty good. We get it's pretty good.
All right,
But to introduce myself, I'll go on that later.
all right, yeah, no, but like you said, it's Poor Righteous Dad.
Yeah, poor righteous.
Poor Righteous Dad.
Poor,
That's
All
what we're
right.
gonna call it.
oh God.
Poor
Oh,
Righteous
okay.
Dad. That's what we're gonna call it. All right.
All right. All
All
right.
right.
All
So
right.
we got Shenanigator J, uh, uh, unqualified gamer, and Poor Righteous Dad. There you go. All right. No, but
Okay.
oh man, no, but we got some good stuff to talk about today. Unqualified gamer was telling me over the last few weeks that we got to record because a lot of stuff has been going on and
A
a lot
lot.
of stuff we feel like we need to talk about. Um, what's one of the things we could talk about first is everybody's a big fan of college football right now. I know I'm a big fan of college football right now,
Yeah.
especially of the Colorado Buffs. Uh, I'm more of a Coach Prime fan myself, which is why I'm gearing towards that because I don't care. You can call it bandwagon or whatever, but nobody seen or watched a Colorado game last year. The last notable player I know that came from Colorado was Slash, and that was in the '90s. Cordell Stewart. So, everybody's on the bandwagon. But more importantly, we're talking about Coach Prime is because I feel, they lost yesterday, and they lost. They lost yesterday. They lost one of the worst losses they had so far this year, first loss of the year, and it was a pretty bad loss. They lost to Oregon, I think, 40 to something. And
41.
okay,
Wasn't it?
but I think more people were more excited, they were more excited not for Oregon winning, but more excited because Coach Prime lost. But the whole thing is Colorado lost, not Coach Prime. And
Mhm.
I think, and you can call it what it is, because I'm looking at the data from what I'm seeing firsthand. Is I noticed a lot of white people um, on social media are they want to see, and they're rooting to see Coach Prime fail. You know, and it baffles me to see that, and the stuff that they say about him. And we've seen it before with a lot of famous black athletes. Um, Floyd Mayweather, for one, he's another one.
Mm-hmm.
And, just the data presents itself. The data presents itself. We're not just making this up. This is the data that presents itself. There's a lot of white people on social media that that speaks down on them, and they really want them to fail. Coach Prime in particular. They say that he's arrogant and brash. I was listening to talk radio one time earlier this week, and they were saying one guy, the personalities were saying, "Oh, I just don't like him. He's just so arrogant, and I didn't like him when he first came out into the league. When he played in the league, he was arrogant, and then when he no when he retired, or when he got the end of his career, I started liking him, and then now as a coach, I don't like him again." I'm like, what? So what that gets to me is the same thing with Muhammad Ali. All these people that say they love Muhammad Ali, they couldn't stand Muhammad Ali when he first got on the scene because they say the same thing. He was arrogant and he talked too much, and they didn't like him until he was sick and he didn't say anything too much, you know. And then all of a sudden, all these people started liking him. All of a sudden, that's why. And it's like that's not that's totally messed up. Number one, but it also goes to show you that society still does not like uh, an outspoken black man who's well grounded in himself and his spirituality, and he'll tell you about his mission and the mission that he's been given, and they don't like it because they just don't like to see that. Uh, I feel they just don't like to see that type of confidence. You know, I like Coach Prime. I like Coach Prime. Like you said, he's been through a lot. Like I said, we don't know that man's full journey. We don't know what that man has seen or what God has showed him to gear him towards uh, this mission that he has. Because he says it. He said he's on a mission, and it's not by me. It's not designed by me. It wasn't given to me. It was given to me, but I didn't design it. I'm just acting on it. And I think a lot of people, you know, that I see on social media is mostly white males that don't like Coach Prime. They want to see him fail. Just wanted to see what's your thoughts on that on Coach Prime and things like that. Not necessarily what he's doing for the football team, but just Coach Prime in general over the last what few years. Like I said, we've been following him coaching wise since what Jackson State the last few years.
That's right.
You know, and he's had some issues. You know, he had almost died from what a an infection that took some of his feet, took part of his feet the last few years. And then people
Mhm.
talk on his name. The coach from Colorado last week talked about pretty much sub 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 con was it sub mentioned his mom talking about when I was a kid, because my mom taught me respect. And when I was a kid, I when I talked to an adult, I took my hat off and I took my sunglasses off and I looked at him in the eye when I talked to an adult because that's the way my mom raised me. It's like, dude, like what are you talking about? Like you just talked about this man's mom, talking about that he didn't raise like Coach Prime's mom didn't raise him right. What does that have to do with the football game?
It
And
has nothing to
and they
do.
take these cheap shots, and they take these cheap shots. Like yesterday, the Oregon Duck, they had a clock with Prime on it, destroyed the man's name and in the image of what it is. It had nothing to do with the actual game. Dion is who he is. He's always been like that his whole career. But he never made it about himself. It was about the team that he talked about. You go back and listen. He never mentioned anything about himself or talked about himself until the other individuals brought it up first. Just wanted to see what y'all thought. You know what your thoughts on that was. You know, with Coach Prime and all that stuff like that. It's just a game, but I understand he just lost. They lost the game. He said, "All right, we lost. We go back like every other team that lost. You know, we just go back
You-
and
Yeah,
regroup."
yeah. I think I like Coach Prime too, and I liked him back when he played in the games and things like this because number one, he was a person that had a lot of confidence in what he did.
Yeah,
Uh, if he said it, he'll do it.
yeah,
He did not waver with anything, and that's what most people, and I say I have to say it like this, most of the of white race don't like that. They don't like in your face type of thing.
Yeah,
Even though that it doesn't make a difference if even if they're not as good as they are. But one thing about Prime was good at whatever he did.
yeah,
You know everything, and he made good decisions about that. That's what that's that you know, and a lot of people don't like that.
yeah,
But just like you're talking about the game, when they posted these people in the stadium had posted these signs that was talking about his feet. What does his feet have to do with the game?
exactly. They take personal
Nothing.
shots.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. You know, like the one sign that I saw that it said, yeah, my coach has all of his toes. Wow.
Yeah, like what does that
That
have
is
to
the
do?
most despicable thing that you can ever say about any. I pray to God that nothing ever happened to any of their family and their family lose their toes and feet.
Yeah,
Remember what you
Mhm.
say, because it's going to come back.
yeah. That had nothing to do with the sport. I'm all for I'm all for good lighthearted trash talk. That's part of the
But that's
game.
not trash talk.
But
But
that's not
that's not
trash talk.
trash
No, no,
talk.
that's not
That's
trash
not
talk.
true.
Like I
Like
said,
that's just unreasonable hate, and that's what it basically boils down to. It's unreasonable hate. It's just what is what it is. Call it exactly what it is. There's no reason. There's no there's no really legit reason for them to even hate them, and they don't even understand. They don't even understand why they hate them. They just know that I just hate them. So I'm going to say something, personal about them to catch them off the game. But see, like the thing about it though is when you talking to a person who doesn't, this also kind of correlates to the same thing what happened to that team in Texas. Remember? I
yeah,
think it happened like last week when you had the people in the stands yelling, telling them to go back to the projects and you
yeah,
know
yeah. No, that happens a lot.
throwing slurs and all that kind of stuff like that. All and thing about it is like the way, like you said, I find it interesting. Like you know, a lot of news articles will focus on the people talking it, but not focusing on the way how the person receiving it is reacting to it. Because really, when you look at Deion Sanders, he don't have to react to it because it doesn't bother him. It doesn't bother him.
No.
His actions will speak. His action will show you and prove them wrong and show you how stupid they really are. And it goes for the same thing with the athletes in Texas that got slurred. That got thrown slurs at them. They was sitting there. They was dancing because they know that like, look, you come down on this field and you gonna say that in my face, you gonna get your behind beat. You're not gonna cross that wall. Say it all you want.
Yeah, but
But it
Yeah.
just shows it just shows the unreasonable. It just shows the unreasonable hate that these white people have against black people. They don't. They as long as we chucking and jiving, as long as we being good boys, they like us. Oh man, I like the way how how he speaks because you know why he don't threaten me. He doesn't threaten me.
yeah,
Deion Sanders threatens them.
and let's
Yeah.
get down to the
His
realness. And this is
presence.
the realness of it. This is the
Yeah.
realness of it. And it just didn't start with Dion. It's been
No,
going on way before that. It's been going on way
way before that.
before Dion was even a thought. It's always been uh, a select few that's had a voice and not afraid to use that voice and to help and see what's happening right now is, and we talked about this unqualified um, off the mic. There's a paradigm shift.
Mhm.
There's a
Yeah.
paradigm shift that's happening right now in real time. Dion
Hmm.
is changing, currently changing in front of our eyes, whether he lost that game or not. He is changing the way coaching is going to be moving forward. Because of him, we're going to see a lot of former black players become college coaches for the better. He's changing the way, the whole structure on how it used to be with them 80-year-old white men, head coaches would come in and not use black quarterbacks usefully or make them defensive players because they have quick feet and all that stuff like that and get them hurt and not really care about their well-being in general. Is more so like a factory. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. There it goes.
Like a
Yeah.
factory. They've been using in football like a football factory, but I think this changes. Not only will Dion prepare those young men, black or white, doesn't matter, players in general. He's going to prepare them for as best as they can. If the ones that are good enough to make the league, he'll prepare them for it because he's been there, and he has a crew or a core of people around him to make sure that happens. But he also said the ones that don't make it, they're going to be successful no matter what they do. He said, with whatever you do, it ain't even got to be football, but you're going to be successful at it. And we're going to make sure that you have all the tools to do it. And if you don't do it, then that's just on you after that. But we're going to make sure you have all the tools. And that threatens a lot of people, especially when you have uh, a lot of people beforehand over the last 20, 30 years that's been making a lot of money off of these kids. A lot of
Hmm.
money, billions with a B. And now with the NIL stuff coming up, the name, image, and likeness deals, you get a lot of these college players that are making millions of dollars now without school. And that
Hmm.
threatens them a lot. They just don't want, and like I said, it gets into the corporate mindset, and we'll talk about that too, where they just don't want nobody to make money except for them.
Mhm.
Wow.
Everybody, because right now everybody's making money. Everybody's making money, but it still comes down to a fact where I want all the money and I don't want these players to make money. And it's going to come to that point. It shouldn't even be. If everybody's making money and everybody's making money, everybody's getting their what
Yeah.
what they deserve, but it's going to be uh, it's going to be some resistance to it because, like I said, we're watching in real time the paradigm shift. We're,
Yes.
we're
Mhm.
watching a shift right now, and if you can't see the shift, then you are the one that might be flushed out if you can't
Yeah.
see the shift because it's right here.
I was thinking about something, and I was going back to a lot of time back during the time when I was growing up and things like it. And I was talking to someone the other day about this very thing, and I was saying that how things and times now is reverting back to the way it was before, but it's worse now than it was before. And it just like Jim Crow is all over again. It's the same thing is happening,
Yeah.
and it sneaks up on you that you don't realize it because it make it look like that it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It is not okay. And see the same things that uh, Prime's going through and all this stuff. We went through it when even he probably went through it when he was coming up. Was coming up in football and everything, Jim Crow and everything else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're watching we're watching the shift, but in the context of the shift, we're watching resistance because that same entity that will be affected by the shift is fighting against it. When,
Oh yeah.
so like I said, even past prime right now. So we're getting into what we were talking about unqualified. You said in Florida they were looking at getting rid of libraries.
Oh yeah, they're looking to get rid of get rid of the school libraries.
Get rid of school libraries. Even here in Philly, we was just talking about it. Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
because like I
yeah, talk
just
about it.
so
Yeah,
here's the thing. I like I was reading this article. I was reading this article where it was literally an article talking about the decline of like just free libraries in general, just in general, like because we have access to the internet and everything like that, but not realizing that there is a severe crisis going on with our youth and also with adults. People don't know how to read, like period.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We don't
I
like
agree.
no people don't know how to read. I thought it was a joke, and like I said, I'm speaking from a person because I had trouble reading growing up.
Hmm.
I have trouble reading growing up, and it was very difficult for me to pretty much make something into words or read something and just didn't go through it. And like I said,
To
it's all
digest
based
it
upon
and bring it out. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, but what helped me is definitely reading stuff that interests me. That's that's what got me started. Like for me, it was video games. Like, but eventually, I basically learned how to read, and I do enjoy reading now. Like actually, reading books and everything like that. And I would say if you're having trouble reading, don't be afraid. You got to start somewhere. No matter how old you are, how young you are, start somewhere. Start with something that interests you, and then go from there. But it's like there's been teachers that's that's been explaining how they're teaching like fifth grade, sixth grade, seventh grade, like middle school, and they're saying the students as a whole, as entirety, are reading at a third or second grade level.
wow.
Mm.
And it's crazy because with like I said, a lot of and I'm gonna call it like it is, a lot of these parents just let their kids when they get home from school, they don't know what their children is doing. And I've always said it's like if you have a kid and their kid is in school, you as a parent, you're in school too. You're relearning with them. That's how it should be. But the reality is these parents are not teaching their kids. They're not helping teaching their kid. They're not even in tune with what they're teaching, and it's affecting the broader things. And I honestly thought it was a legit joke. I thought people. I thought it's like nah. It's no way you can tell me you can't read when everything that we do in our hands, we go online, we have to read, we have to do this. But it makes sense on the reason why how so many people online have voices but don't know how to read because they don't comprehend anything.
Right.
And
Right.
this is the reason, and we're heading in that direction because this is the reason why you get these nut jobs. It feels like Renaissance era. It really feels like we're living back in like the European 1600s, you know, the Catholic Renaissance, where only the leaders knew how to read, and everybody else just sit there and just listen and go, "Oh yeah, that he look, yeah, yeah, nah, he's telling some truth there, isn't he?" And it's like, dude, y'all don't know how to read. Like, and it's crazy because we have the information right here, and libraries are going down in decline. So I went out and I got myself a new library card. I signed up because I was like, you know what, I haven't been in a while. I was like, I'm gonna go Saturday. So yesterday, this past Saturday, I go down and I notice the library is closed. This is the main branch of Philly, the one on what's that? Uh, on Parkway.
Hmm.
It was closed and it was Saturday, and I was like, whoa. So I looked it up. All the branches in Philadelphia, all the free library branches in Philadelphia is closed during the week, and they only open Monday through Friday. They're closed Saturday and Sunday.
And that's the most of the time when a lot of lot of students or even people use the library on the weekends because to get things done.
to get things done. I get off of work at 3 o'clock or 3:30. The main branch closes at 5. My local branch closes at 7. But like in between that time, say if I wanted to go out and check the book, but that library branch don't have the book that I want, but the main branch does. But I don't have time to go to the main branch because I'm at work.
Mm.
Like it's crazy. And it's like there was a few people I asked, like, hey, do your kids got library cards? And they laughed. They laughed at me. They laughed at me. What do they need library cards for? Haha, what do they need library? Come on, who does that anymore? Not realizing that, the free library, okay, that our tax dollar goes to this. They have a bunch of programs for everybody that goes that goes unscathed. And I'm talking some good programs too. Some really good programs. Like I'm here. If y'all listen to this, I implore y'all, use your tax dollars. If you're paying for this, use it. Go to the library. I hear plenty of people complain about streaming services going up, right? Oh my God, Disney Plus is going up an extra $5. HBO Max going up an extra $5. Everybody's complaining about the price of entertainment, and the free library is not just books. You got DVDs, you got Blu-rays, you have comic books, you got manga, you got audiobooks. There's so much free that is there. That is current. It's not old stuff either. I just looked on the library website. I can legit check out the latest movie on there. I can legit download audiobooks through the free library without me paying for it. But yet people are paying for services like audiobooks. But yet the free library, you can download it right from there. Right to your phone. But we don't utilize this and we're laughing.
Now, do you think the reason why we're not utilizing it is partly because of the people that's in charge of facilitating this information isn't properly putting out that information?
I say yes. That is a reason, but we have to take we do have to take uh some action of our own. Because my thing is, like I said, it took me to look into the article because I was looking for new books to read, and I ran across this article about the library, and that's what kind of sparked me to say, let me go hop on the library's website. Like, yeah, they could do a little bit more by advertising, but here's the thing: we don't watch TV anymore. I'm talking in general. We don't watch TV anymore. You know, we're not on, like lot of stuff that we have are advertised through social media, but there's, like I said, where how can the free library or anybody who's in charge of the free library advertise the free library when nobody's not looking for it? Because every time you talk about it, people scoff at it.
But my thing is, see, think of it from remove yourself from it and try to think of yourself as the average layperson, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
when you said the information through social media, and like I said, there's always accountability to this. Say, but I personally don't think that whoever's in charge of uh, the management of the libraries are doing a good enough job in doing it. It's like, so how can you not look for something? My thing is, from an average person, taking myself out of it.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't see it, then how can you know it's there, or how can you
I
not
can go
look
there.
for it? You know what I'm saying? And so
Yeah,
everybody can make a Twitter. Everybody can make an Instagram. So can the free library.
okay, the free library. Yeah,
And I don't see. I don't know if they have an Instagram or not. I never checked. But if they did, they do a poor job at putting stuff in there. If not, why don't they facilitate somebody? I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of people that would love to that they can put in play to take control of the social media
All
platforms.
right. I'm on the Free Library of Philadelphia website now,
Okay,
and they do have an Instagram. They do have an Instagram, and I think they like I said, it's there, but it's not. You're right, it's not advertised because when I'm looking through it now, looking through the posts now, they only have um about 4K posts with only 35K followers.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
You
that's
know, with like I said, and you I mean, yeah,
it's
it's
accountability. My thing is it's accountability on all,
yeah
but at the same time,
on all, yeah. It's
what's
not
the end
it's
goal?
not like yeah. The end
What's
goal is like I said, it's not there. They have it there, but it's not.
do they want
Yeah.
people?
It's
Is
not.
my whole thing is do they even want
Like
people?
now, hold on a minute.
Wait, well that
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead, go ahead.
no no.
No, 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 no. I was talking to someone else.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
No, but I was saying, I was like, the end goal is do they want this to happen? Do they want people to be more involved? Because, like I said,
Yeah.
what's the importance? The importance of public libraries. What's
The,
the main? Uh, uh,
it's the free it's the free information.
that's right. The access.
It, the access it's the access of information, but it's not. But like I said, the information that comes from the free library, right, is basically all credible.
Well, yes, it's the free access. So libraries house, in general, libraries house
Like
centuries
I'm
of
like I'm looking
information.
through this. So like I'm looking through this, right, and I'm actually on this again. They have classes, they have events and classes. Like they have this one infant massage classes. That's important if you are a new parent, right? If you're a soon to be parent, that's a very important class. But again, it's at the South Philly Library. This event is at the South Philly Library, right? But it's Monday, the 25th, which is tomorrow at 10 a.m. Like who's available
But
on
then
a
again,
Monday at 10
like
a.m.?
I said, it's
The average person.
who is scheduling, who is in charge of scheduling
Yeah,
these
like
things,
who are these cards is discussing
and
like this?
what's the end goal? Do they even want people to be there? That's the whole
Like,
thing.
like I said, it's you have you have the other one, beginner English, a pre-class placement test. A pre-class placement test is required to join this conversation group. Monday and Wednesdays, 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Learn basic English vocabulary and grammar while practicing speaking. This is free class for beginners English speakers, and that's at the Bushrod Library. That's at that branch. But again, Monday. And they got it for Monday, Wednesday from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And that's good for adults and senior citizens.
Like I said,
Yeah.
uh, libraries house centuries of information, history, and it's important with that free access. It helps with the importance in defending in the fight against misinformation. Right now, there's a lot of misinformation going on.
Oh, it's a lot. It
It's a
is
lot.
a
And
lot.
I think providing those free accesses to educational and news and all of these historical sources, I think libraries help keep the public informed with facts rather than confused with fiction. So there's a lot of fiction going on. We look at a lot of these so-called news articles coming up, and I was never a journalism major, but one thing in English that we did know is uh, you always told the facts. If you were writing a journalistic piece or you were writing an article on something, you only reported the facts. Now you could just come up with anything,
or with anything. Yeah.
and it's posted. It's not proofread or edited or anything. So it's a lot of misinformation going on, and I personally think that it's designed that way. I think it's designed that way.
It is.
All
I
over,
agree. It is.
all
It
over the
is.
country, it's designed that way to keep uh, illiteracy at an all-time high. We're in 2023. There's no way illiteracy should be at the rate that it's at in 2023. Not when,
No, not with like that.
not when you had
Yeah.
over, not when you had over 130 years ago. You know, our elders and ancestors were hung and killed for wanting to read a book.
Yeah.
You know, like I think it's a disservice, but I think it's been purposely done, and it
I
takes a while.
agree.
So it's programming, social engineering. I think it's been programmed to not to keep people disinterested in reading facts.
They got a chess club tomorrow for after school kids
You'd be
at the main
surprised.
branch library.
You'd be surprised on how many people don't understand the game of chess,
Mm.
which is another important game to learn.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. What's this movie? What's it? Movie matinee. Join us for a screening of a new release film for school kids and teens. Please stop by and contact the library for movie title. And that's in Nice Town,
And you remember when
Iota.
you remember when you guys was growing up, what I used to always say? I said you always we go to the movies and what we do, we rationalize the movie. That
Yeah,
gives you more insight on how to come up with your own idea instead of somebody telling you what it is. You have your own idea and concept about it.
yeah. Oh well, speaking
Mm.
of, I'm gonna segue a little bit off of this because like I was still in the same genre because like I'm on this part I'm definitely advocating people, adults, kids,
Okay.
no matter how old you are, I'm advocating basically bringing more culture into your life, meaning
Yeah.
that trying out new things, do it like I said, go to the library. Like they have plenty of things for you to offer. Even though it's just like I said, even though really need to find out who decided to make to X off the weekends for the library because I need to know because I will love to advocate to reopen libraries on the weekend because so you can go to these little events. I remember the library used to have Monopoly tournaments. That's how I learned how to play Monopoly. Was through the library. They had Monopoly tournaments.
Oh. So they taught you how to cheat.
Yeah, I don't cheat. All right, I play by the rules. All right, a lot of people don't play by the rules. But another thing I'm going to say though is just recently, like I said, I have a membership to the Philadelphia Museum, the Museum of Art or the Art Museum. If you live in Philly, we call it the Art Museum. But the Philadelphia Museum of Art, I have a membership there. But I found out, I didn't realize this, they have every Friday. It's not just the first Sunday in the month. The first Sunday in the month is pay what you wish. You go there, you pay whatever you want, and you get to experience the art. But what I didn't know is every Friday at night is a pay what you wish. So they have an after hours on Friday nights. Another thing I didn't realize that as long I think as you're accompanied by an adult, anybody that is 18 and under gets in there for free. And the one thing, like I said, art may not be for everybody, but everybody do have an opinion, and everybody do need a way to express themselves. And for me, going through the art museum, like I said, I have a membership, so I go sometime on off hours. I go sometimes like after work sometimes. But it's definitely a good way to just clear my mind to go look at some art pieces and actually go through my own thoughts on what I on what how I feel, and even down to the pieces that I cannot stand, it still convey an emotion out of me. And I was talking to my buddy Tim, because we went this past Friday, and even he's thinking about getting a membership there. I'm about to buy myself a notebook so I can start actually journaling those thoughts down and going back to it like in the future. I'm gonna jot down when I'm gonna go to go to these events, like either the library or going to the art museum, and then channel it, and then actually writing down my feelings and my emotions behind it. Because um I was legit like in the art museum, and they have like a Renaissance. They have the Renaissance, European Renaissance artwork, everything like that. And it wasn't until it's funny because I see this thing all the time, and I always get this feeling of like, why don't I really care about like these type of paintings? Like I couldn't put my finger on it. The architecture I'm fine with. I like the architecture. When it comes down to tapestry, I think I enjoy the tapestry. But when it comes down to the paintings, I never could really put my finger down on why I didn't like it, and it just came to me that Friday. And basically it boils down to, it reminds me of how it reminds me on how much us as humans haven't changed since then by just following a trend, and that's it. Because if you look at the artwork, and I'm just speaking from, this is just my opinion on it. So I'm not saying I'm right, I'm not saying we're wrong. This is just my opinion on this. Looking at like the European Renaissance art of depiction of Christianity, to me,
Okay.
it's very dull because everybody has the same. It's not the fact that everybody's depicting Christianity. That's not the point. My point is everything looks the same. The art style looks the same. If I point at one painting and point at another painting, and I told you like, did the same people made these paintings, you're more likely going to look at it and say, yeah, it looks like the same person made it. But no, it was actually two different people. But they both have the same style because it was popular back then. And I'm using that and I'm correlating that to what it is today, because today our art form comes from us streaming or video recording or blogging or whatever. And anything that is trending on social media, it's always the same thing with the same sound, the same rhythm, the same thing. And it hasn't changed since the Renaissance. When you look at it from our perspective, and it's dull and it's boring, and it just kind of clicked on me then, you know, when going through the modern art. And regardless of what you think about modern art, when it comes down to like how it looks like somebody scribbled on it and everything like that. And yes, I might make a joke or crack a joke on it, but at the end of the day, it's different. It's different from another piece that I saw. It's different from one person to the next. And even if I don't like it, it still conveyed an emotion out of me. It still conveyed something out of me. Oh my God, looks like a 5-year-old just scribbled on a canvas. That still conveyed an emotion. It still got something out of me. You know? Whereas, even though yes, the Renaissance painting did convey emotion out of me, but at the same time, it was just a emotion of boredom, because everything had a certain pattern to it. It had a certain look to it, and I was like, huh, just doesn't do anything for me. It's
Wow.
just there.
Okay.
Oh yeah. But by the
So,
way,
Yeah,
like I said,
sorry.
just go out and experience the city, wherever city that you're at. Experience the city. Experience what the city has to offer, from an art standpoint, from a tour. It's okay just because you live here. There's a lot of people that don't understand that Philly has a lot of rich history here, a lot
Hmm.
of history in general, and it's right under your nose. All you got to do is look at it. You know, go to it. It's all here.
absolutely.
Lot of cool stuff to do in the city. So you know, when people say that there's nothing to do, take a look, take a second look. You know, lots to do.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, there is.
A lot
There is
to do.
plenty to
Yeah,
do.
Lots to
All
do.
right. So what's to segueing into the movie we saw yesterday,
So,
or are
so,
we
so I
doing?
guess we could segue. We could segue into. Uh, there was a incident. No, well, wait, well. First of all, let's get into talk about the NFTs.
Ah.
So I read an article. I read an article a couple days ago, and it read that a vast majority of NFTs are now worthless. So pretty much about 2 years ago, there was a tech trend that pretty much swept up the entire uh, internet because it was all digital. And pretty much what it did, it allowed artists and celebrities, most likely, were creating um, these NFTs, which is non fungible tokens. And pretty much 2 years ago, it estimated almost at 23 million people bought into these, respectively different NFTs. So pretty much what NFTs are, and it's still unclear for a lot of people what NFTs were or are, and that's why I never really got into it because NFT is a non fungible token and it's a form of crypto asset that is used to certify ownership and authenticity of a digital file, which can be an image, a video, or a text. So you had some artists that would put some of their artwork in a digital form, as in either in an image. You had some uh, athletes that took some of their highlights and created a small form of video, and those things would go up for sale. You were able to purchase those things, therefore owning a piece. Uh, from what I understand, owning a piece of that image or that file. But but my whole thing was, how does money translate to this? If people were spending hundreds of dollars, some were spending thousands of. I know Snoop Dogg had one. People were spending thousands of dollars on it. And my whole thing was, how does it translate over? And nobody could really clearly give me an answer on how money could translate over. But the best explanation I did get was from one article. I can't even remember verbatim, but just kind of like just breezing through it. Uh, the creator drops the article, drops the image. I'm gonna call it an image. The artist creates the image. So the artist is at the top of this pyramid, right? So I'm gonna use the pyramid. There we go. So the artist
Mhm.
would create this image and put it at the top of this pyramid. So people underneath the original image would purchase this. Therefore, owning a piece, not the whole thing, they would own a piece of it, of the act of the token image, not the actual, not the actual artwork. They would own a piece of the actual digital image. Now, every time somebody purchased one, you could resell it. You could resell your piece or whatever like that, and so on and so forth. It goes all the way down this tree. So theoretically, you can have about thousands of people theoretically owning a piece of your artwork. Now, you, the creator, at the top of this, gets a piece of whatever, gets a financial cut. So they get a financial cut of whatever's purchased beneath them. Even though you're selling yours because you're the creator, you have you get to earn a piece of whatever is sold underneath you. Hence, The pyramid scheme. That's exactly what it sounded like to me. Uh, Selling no way products. You ain't selling no way products, are you? Remember that? Or I'm gonna get you, sucker. Yeah,
They
yeah.
probably don't know what yeah.
That's what it sounded like to me. So, like I said, there were people that it made billions of dollars in a short period of time, and one little excerpt of this article said this daunting reality should serve as a sobering check on the euphoria that has often surrounded the NFT space. Amid stories of digital art pieces selling for millions and overnight success stories, it's easy to overlook the fact that the market is fraught with pitfalls and potential losses. My whole thing is, how could people not see this? That's my question. How can
How do
people
people
not see this?
because again, we
It's
are a headline society, and people, like I said again, if it's trending, we're dumb enough to follow it without question.
it goes to the art.
Without question, because they go by what somebody else tells them, or what they don't venture to look into anything themselves
No.
to see if it's true or not.
Yep, but it also serves as a reminder that in this physical world right now, a lot of people are following and worshiping something, money.
Mhm.
There's a lot of people out there because the whole purpose of people buy it doesn't make this much money. It doesn't make this much money in a short period of time if people didn't feel like they really honestly thought they were going to make a lot of money behind this. When they see these, because you saw these stories about 2 years ago of an artist making millions of dollars overnight off of one NFT, but not
Yep.
realizing that that one artist had an extreme financial backing that was funded by celebrities. So and they never told that. They never said those stories. They just said posted up headlines, like you said, headline society. Oh, this no name artist just made millions of dollars overnight by creating a smiley face. So then an average Joe, regular person, 9 to 5, or regular person, oh, I can do that too, and I can make money, and I'm going to create something, and I'm going to do it, but then it doesn't work, and you spend all of this money thinking that you're going to make money in return, and a lot of people got scammed out of that money. Because right now, I think, like I said, because a lot of people worship money, a lot of people worship money. That's the new scam. So uh, that's the new scam.
It is.
That's the new
Yeah.
scam because it trickled down from that to a lot of people. Oh, I can fix your credit, or hey, I can fix your credit, or hey man, hey, you want to own a successful vending machine business? Then buy my book, buy my
Yep.
ebook, buy my ebook.
Point out business.
That's the new scam. That's the scam.
Mm,
Because they know that people are driven by their obsession with money.
hmm
Like I said, how could you not see that 2 years ago? Now, when people mention crypto, crypto is different. I think crypto is different because I think crypto actually serves an actual purpose. I think it serves a purpose and will serve a purpose in the future. Whereas NFTs are always questions like, what does it serve? Like, what is it that we get out of it? What type of service or what type of deed does it do in return for us buying this, other than it just being an image? It doesn't really appreciate like actual artwork. Actual artwork appreciates in value. You know,
Hmm.
this doesn't appreciate in value. So what does it do? At least with cryptocurrency, it had depending on which crypto, I would use Bitcoin more so because Bitcoin is the standard. Bitcoin is backed by actual money. You know, there's actual
Hmm.
backing behind this. There's no actual backing behind NFT besides, hey, well, Snoop Dogg or some celebrity.
Not like I said, NFTs at the time were backed by Ethereum. That's why Ethereum was going up because of that blockchain.
Okay, so it was
Yeah.
backed by.
It was grounded in like Ethereum, and then basically from there,
So
like
it was
that's why.
ground off, but
Because
it was
if you notice, like around that time, that's why it was a lot of things that were going up when it come down to tech back then. Like we talking like graphics cards, because that was during the time when I was finishing building my PC. So graphics cards going up because people were trying to mine Ethereum, and when people was mining Ethereum, it was going up. It was reaching almost close up to what Bitcoin was, Ethereum was, but it just dropped. It failed, especially when that blockchain kind of just crashed and burned.
yeah. But my thing
And
is,
like so,
but my thing
yeah.
is, see, my thing is it was backed by Ethereum, but was it backed by actual currency? See, Bitcoin is backed by actual currency. That's
Is
why
it?
yes, because you have Bitcoin, but then you also have Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin dollar, Bitcoin US. It's backed by actual currency. It has to be. That's why some of these altcoins fail or have failed, I should say, because it wasn't backed by anything. It was backed on the hope that it was that it would be. It's a lot. It's a lot. The stuff to go on, but NFTs are now virtually worthless. So uh, I'm curious. I don't particularly know anybody personally that has an NFT, so I can't ask them like, hey, what have you done with yours, or what are you going to do with yours? So I don't know anybody personally that has any. Do you qualified? Unqualified? I don't
But that
know.
actually has Bitcoin
No, that has NFTs.
that have NFTs. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know some people that has
All
NFTs.
right. So do you know
They
exactly what they're
they
doing with
they
theirs, or
But with that, like I said, they had the money then to buy the NFTs, and then they sold it when it's up. So they basically utilized the stupidity of people
all right?
just to like, you know I'm not holding on to it, but as soon like I said, as soon as I buy it, like let's just say like let's just say he bought this NFT for about $800. He bought the NFT for $800. Then like a week later, he sold it for like two thousand.
Okay, but
You know,
that's
so
fine.
that's
That's
that's what he
different.
did. Yeah, and like I mean,
Because that's what it's
like I said,
for. I think if you're going to
yeah.
use it, that's what it should be used for. Use
Well,
it to try to capitalize on the trend.
yeah, you
You just got
capitalize
to
on,
know.
on
You
on
just
on
got
the
to know when
trend.
to strike. You have to know when to strike.
Yeah.
When to strike and when not to. Uh,
So like I said, here's the thing. It's like I said, when it comes down to when it comes down to NFTs, you have two trends on it. Nobody not saying you didn't make money off of NFTs. You made money off of NFTs. However, just like anything else, if you don't, you don't put all your eggs in one basket. You don't invest everything. And there were
No, but yeah,
people
you're
that
supposed
invested
to
everything.
investment
Yeah,
101 is always diversify.
only the version. But you had people who put their whole life savings into it, following. And I'm saying, here's the thing: the majority of people that got like duped by NFTs, they got duped because they followed one person or they followed somebody that they trusted like immensely, and they're just I can't think of the dude name, but it's sort of similar to like the guy that tells you how to invest in the stock market, and he goes like, he get the bells and whistles and everything like that,
Yeah, yeah,
telling
yeah.
you that this is high, you need to go buy, and then next thing you know, all right, listen, I made a mistake, boo hoo, like the stock market tanked and you lost some dough,
Yeah,
but hey, that's the way how it goes. If people go,
that
wait a
happens.
minute, I put a whole life savings into that. I lost everything. That same way
Yeah.
how NFTs went.
Oh
At
yeah.
this point, NFTs are worthless. If you go and buy an NFT now, I hate to say this, but you deserve what's going to come after you. You deserve what happens to you after that. If you buy an NFT at this point, at this time, you're kind of like, huh, listen, man, you should have read the room. You should have at least done some research on it. If you go out and put your whole life savings into NFTs right now, hey, listen, man, like it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
I can't help you there.
Yep.
Hey,
You
hey,
got.
listen, guys. Self-righteous dad's gonna have to sign out. Okay.
All right.
Look, I'm gonna keep up with you guys.
Okay.
We'll do. All right,
Okay.
self-righteous dad.
All right. Self righteous dad. Peace out.
You know how to get out, right?
Well, I thought I did.
All right, here you go. Go down. Like see where you see over to the left.
Wait
If
a
you go
minute.
down, and you see like a little phone icon with an X on it. You see it?
All right. We're still recording unqualified,
Yeah, you go. Yeah,
but
go
it's all
ahead. Go
good. No, no,
ahead.
it's all good. It's all good. If we could talk through it. This is all
Yeah.
good. All right. You got it.
Okay. Now,
All right.
where
Look.
am I?
All right. Hold on. Left of the screen. Right.
Mm,
Look down to the bottom. Look down to the bottom left.
okay.
All right. You see where it says voice connected. You see that? It's in green. See where it says voice connected.
Yes.
All right. Look over to the right, and you'll see a phone icon with a little X. It says
Okay.
disconnect.
I got some kind of blue thing that's on top of it with volume
Well,
over.
you don't see the little phone icon.
No, because it has a adjust your soundboard volume thing. It's blocking it.
Hold on. Let's
No.
see.
Well, look, you guys
Yeah.
continue on to talk. Hey, listen, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'll come back. I'll be coming back. I just got to go upstairs and eat.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Just go ahead. I'll be back.
All right. All right. But Jay.
Yeah.
Uh, Shenanigator. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. But but yeah, no. That's the thing about NFTs though. It's
All right.
like whatever happens at this point, it is what it is. Like you
Yeah.
got, you got God at that point. But like I said, just like with anything else though, like I said, if you're going to invest in something, regardless of what you feel about NFTs or cryptocurrency, whatever, like I think it all is going to fluctuate. I think there's going to be a time when I feel that there's going to be something that's similar to NFTs. It's going to come back and it's going to make a huge boom. You know, just like with the stock market, it fluctuates. You know, cryptocurrency is not dead. You know,
Well, no, it's
but that
not.
doesn't mean like cryptocurrency is not
I think
dead.
that's
You know,
different. That's a little bit
yeah.
different than the
Well,
NFT.
it's See, here's the thing: it coincides with each other. It's just different, but it's not. But it's not that far different. And that's what I'm trying to say.
No, I'm
And I
saying,
was looking up. Oh no, I was looking up. Like Bitcoin isn't backed by the dollar. It's not really backed by anything. Really, it's just what the grid is. It's
okay.
on. It's on its own grid. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. It's like it's not backed. Like cryptocurrency isn't backed by U.S. dollar. It makes no sense. Here's the thing: I would say this: it makes no sense that something like this will be backed by a U.S. dollar when the U.S. dollar is not backed by anything as is. Think about it: U.S. dollar is not backed by anything. There's no gold
Well,
that's
no,
backed by
yeah,
the
I
U.S.
mean you're
dollar.
right. Yeah, and it has no. But I wasn't saying U.S. dollar. I said currency in general.
Well, currency. Well, like you said, it's something that's monetary don't have to be backed by any coin because, like you said, the reason why this is not backed by currency is because there's no, like, the government is not controlling it. No part of a government is not controlling it. Not something over in Europe or South America or wherever. You know, it's kind of like it's doing its own thing, and I think that's where, um, right now, currently, it's kind of like just right now it's just there, and because it's because people aren't talking about it, and you got people thinking that it was a scam because of the way how the climate was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, right?
Well, yeah, everybody
Uh,
everybody was
you
home.
know, but I think they're still working on it, and now they're really going to be working on it, especially since nobody's talking about it, and now that is under case though. But I know a few people that actually benefited from cryptocurrency and NFT.
Well, yeah. I
Yeah,
benefited from cryptocurrency, so it
yeah,
was that's what I'm saying. I think cryptocurrency is a little bit more
yeah,
has a little bit more standing
yeah.
because it's
Got
number one,
got
it's
more
been there
understanding.
longer. It has a little bit more
Yeah,
standing because it has something that actually can give back in value, give
yeah.
back in return. Whereas I think owning an image or a piece of text or whatever like
Digital
that,
digital art or whatever. Digital, yeah,
yeah,
piece of digital
and
art. Yeah,
you're not owning the actual without owning the actual
yeah,
physical art piece, which is actually more valuable. But
yeah.
no, like I said, well, that's the whole NFT talk. But
It's
what
what
else?
do we talk about the movie
Uh, if you want to
or
talk about it, we can hold off and talk about the movie next time. So we went. Pretty much what happened is we went to go see was it Outlaw Johnny Black yesterday, and I liked the movie. So I
I
forgot
really
that the
enjoyed it.
movie was I forgot the movie was in play was playing. And long story short, it's from the makers and creators of Black Dynamite, and disappointingly, it's a black directed and produced movie, and in the theater they were legitimately unqualified. If you can correct me if I'm wrong, there were legitimately six people or
Yeah,
seven people
it was
in the
seven.
theater. It was me, you. It was another two people that was there, uh, another set of people behind us, and one person that was there. That was in there. And we'll talk about it. I like the movie. The movie had a great message, and I think it's going to be underrated. But
Oh,
number one, it's not part of the it wasn't number one. It wasn't the movie was made. Actually, the movie was made a few years ago before the writer's strike. So it was made before the writer's strike happened, and I don't think it falls under, which is why it was released. I don't think it fell under. It didn't fall under any of the things that coincide with the
yeah,
strike
with the strike.
because it was
Yeah,
independent. Because it's technically what is an independent film.
yeah, yeah,
It's technically it's an independent film, so it doesn't coincide with the strike, which is why it was played, but also They had a cameo with Jim Brown, and Jim Brown, passed away a few months ago. So the movie has been out. Uh, the movie was actually made. I'll say a while, maybe like a year and a half ago, maybe. You know,
Yeah.
something like that. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about our because when Poor Righteous Dad gets back on. But what about there's a story that you want to talk about with Oprah,
Oh yeah.
article that you
So
read.
yeah. So basically, earlier this month, everybody know about the Maui fire, in Hawaii. Devastating event, you know, but the people there aren't getting the justice that they deserve. Just like anything else, they're not really getting the help that is needed to them. So early this month, like around the first, The Rock and Oprah got on TikTok and basically decided, oh, we're going to tell people to start donating to Maui, which, like I said, I don't mind. Like that part, I don't mind. What gets me though, the fact that Oprah, she do own property in Maui that didn't get touched by the fire. Conveniently, didn't, and not at all. And be for the fact that they are billionaires, and I think what's interesting about this is the backlash that mostly, like I said, The Rock getting the backlash, and also Oprah's getting the backlash, but it's mostly Oprah getting the backlash for this because she responded to it, and her response is very tone deaf to what's to how to people lives today, or how financially uh how financially we are in our state. Like, let's be real, uh the average person in America financially is not doing well at all. It's hard for us to save money. Inflation has gone up immensely, and but our pay has been stagnated. Has been stagnant, and basically, it doesn't look good on Oprah's response to this. And it's funny because there's now a lot of people are calling her out and calling a lot of rich people out who is asking regular average people money to help other people. It's not, and like I said, and it's not the fact that, hey, you know, it's average people. We don't want to donate. No, we still donate. We still look at how many people get GoFundmes and people still give them money to help them out. Like, so we have no problem as regular citizens helping each other out financially when it comes to things. But when it comes to these billionaires that want to pretend to act like that, hey, we're all in this together type thing. It comes off raw. And I think a lot of people now are starting to see these people for who they are.
Hmm.
Like, billionaires. Yeah, you donated a few $1 million, but if you're a billionaire, you donating a few $1 billion is nothing. That's equivalent to somebody donating $25 compared to what they get, like thousands of dollars. It does. It's nothing. I mean, it's good big money to the regular person, but it's not altruist to the grand scheme of things. Also, you get a tax write off from that. Let's be real, you get a tax write off from that. And what makes it even worse is the fact that you own property in Maui, which the people are already telling. This is even before the fire. The people of Hawaii have been telling Americans to basically stop vacationing here because we're trying to get our land back. We're trying to get what was ours that was taken from us.
Hmm.
And there have been a lot of content creators that's been ignoring that, and they've been being called out for it.
Yeah.
And like I said, their argument is, well, they still need tourism, and tourism brings in a lot of money. They brings in a lot of money to the corporation that took the land, not the people. It's not going back into the people's pockets. It's not going back to their homes. And now you're starting to hear developers developing in sections where the houses were burned.
Wow.
Interesting.
Very.
And I'm saying, and like I said, I'm not saying that Oprah is one of those people that's doing it, but there has been accusations of certain businesses that quote unquote she have parts in that is doing this.
Yeah.
And like I said, in this day and age, like I said, people used to look at these billionaires and see how altruist and oh my god, such a philanthropist and everything. But now we're at a moment when these people, and it's not like oh they're doing the act of good. It's they're doing the act of good for benefiting themselves, not for the good of things, but to benefit themselves and to line their pockets on on the grander scheme of things. So you're helping but not helping.
Yeah.
It's like on the same basis as when when you see people who are not of the community clean up the community, but the next thing you know they're buying up your homes.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same sense though. But I just like I said, I just like I said that's one of those things where I found very interesting. And I'm gonna say this: I'm in full support of all the strikes that are happening. I'm in full support of this.
Yep.
Full support
Yep.
for the people. You know,
Yep.
because like I said, we're tired. These corporations, these billionaires are ruining this country entirely. We're not getting anything back from this. You know, like the really like I said the writer and acting strike has really opened our eyes because as celebrity, you look at celebrities, you're looking like well, you see them on TV all the time. And the idea of being a celebrity was always you're going to sell your privacy to become wealthy, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the idea of being a celebrity, right?
Yeah.
Because let's be real. Do you do you honestly want to be famous without having any money? No, nobody would want that. Nobody wants to walk the street where everybody recognizes them, but at the same time you're not getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what these actors are going through. I'm talking big actors, talking actors that was on programs that made millions of dollars. Aren't like have you seen some of the actors on from Orange and New Black, which was Netflix's first big show?
Yeah.
And literally they saying, "Yo, I don't even have enough money to take a cab to the work." To take
Wow.
an Uber to work. And these are actors who wasn't like just a background character in one episode. No, no, no. We're talking these are co-characters that's in multiple seasons and episodes.
Yeah.
And they're struggling. They get no royalties. They get a few cents, few dollars. That's it. You know?
Yeah.
That's insane. You know, the point of you even like I said, the point of you even being a celebrity is the money behind it. You would think
Mm-hmm.
that's the payoff. You give me lots of money and I will sell my privacy. That's basically what it is. And you're not even doing that. And that opened the eyes to a lot of people. And now, like I said, it's following. UPS was going to go on strike. They had to make a deal really fast with that.
Yeah.
And they got the deal. And guess what? Did it hurt the bottom line of UPS? No, it didn't. We're not even asking for half of what CEOs are making. Not even half. We're literally only asking not even 5%. Just enough so we can legit like survive, to live. That's it.
That's it.
And you have these corporations. Got the guy talking about we're gonna wait it out, let them go hungry.
Righteous Dad is back.
Hey,
Hey,
righteous
righteous
dad.
dad.
Hey, yeah, we were just talking about Bruce. I mean, Unqualified was just talking about what were you talking about? You were talking about the
Basically, right now I'm talking about the the celebrity strike.
yeah, celebrity
Oh,
strike,
yeah,
the
I shouldn't
writer
say celebrity.
strike,
The
yeah,
acting, the writer and acting strike,
writer
really.
and acting
yeah.
But
strike.
yeah, but I was saying like how it these strikes opens our eyes and is creating a chain, and the fact, like I said, this chain is actually good. It's not a bad thing. It's actually good. Because this is what it's about. And it's crazy when before the actor strike, we always thought that if you're being seen on television, whether it's commercials, television shows, or movies, we always looked at it in a way of like, yo, that person is getting paid. Like they getting all this money, and I think a lot of people when they first heard the the actors going on strike, I think a lot of people, and this also sort of including myself, I'm not going to lie, was the thought of, well, what do they need to go on strike for? They're already getting a lot of money, they're already getting paid. Until you start seeing certain actors, and not just like we're not talking about background characters, we're not talking about somebody who made like just a face appearance in a movie for like 20 seconds and then they pass
Mm-hmm.
by. No, we're talking actors and actresses who are in multiple episodes of shows that people watch in the millions. We're talking actors who are in movies who, like I said, you see them, you go, oh, I recognize them because they're in this movie. They might not be the main character, but they're recognizable enough that they're there, and you seeing them, and they're saying, "Yeah, no, I'm struggling. I can't afford to buy an Uber to the to my job. I have to have a second job working at a coffee shop, like little things like that." And
Mm-hmm.
it strikes me as interesting. I know I'm repeating myself, guys. I'm just going this over through for pops here though, but it's like you sit there, you think that if you are a celebrity or any type of actor on television, you will think the idea is I'm going to sell my privacy for money. That's basically what it is. Because once you hit that limelight, like you have privacy, but you're not going to have your regular people privacy. Like when you walk out, people are going to recognize you. They're going to stop you. That's part of the unspoken contract of you being a celebrity or you being in Hollywood films or shows. That's what it is.
Right. Okay.
But the fact that you got these people who people can recognize, they say, "Oh, I know that person from this show," but they're not getting paid. They struggling to buy a cab. They struggling to pay rent on wherever they live. Like that's a problem. That's a huge problem. And the fact that they're actually going on strike is a great thing. It's a grand thing, and it actually trickled down because I think this opened up the eyes of a lot of people on how corporations are legit ruining this country and
Mm-hmm.
going down to, and like I say, it's branching off. UPS was about to go on strike, and they had to make a deal quite fast. Now you got GM, the people making cars for GM go on strike.
Yes.
Good. You know how I didn't realize a lineman who's building these cars,
Working on the line in the factory.
working on the line in the factory is only getting paid a merely $15 an hour. What is that? And then have the nerve. Then the CEO had the nerve to legit, with a straight face, say, "Oh, we don't make enough money to pay the employees." But to turn around and say, "Yo, y'all made record breaking profit,
Uh huh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
record breaking profit." How greedy, as a corporation, how greedy can you be?
Well, see, this is stuff that I mean, you're just seeing that, but that's always have been going on. I used to work in factory, and it was always the same thing. The lowest person, the people who make the stuff don't get paid anything.
Yeah.
It's
I,
it
I,
has always been. It's just what is done. It's like like Shenanigator just said a while ago. It's a paradigm.
yeah.
And it's shifting,
Hmm.
and it's the same thing. It's the same thing, but it's just done a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They give you a few bucks. They're just like it's the same thing, just like when they're talking about the raising of a minimum wage, and they wanted to raise it to $15 an hour. $15 an hour still will not pay for a person now. If to make an honest good living in at a lower rate than what they should be making anywhere from $25 an hour.
Yeah.
You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the cost of living has gone up since then.
Cost of living had gone up. I mean,
And,
we,
and
we
they
go,
don't want to pay them $15 an hour for minimum wage.
nah,
Hmm.
How can a man live at what before they was saying that it was only what I think it was $8 or $9 an
nope.
hour?
It was 7.25 an hour, and it's still
Now,
7.20.
how in
The
the
minimum
world can
the
you
minimum
live off
wage
of
is
that?
still, and remind you, the minimum wage is still 7.25 an hour.
Wow.
Now, how
Federal,
can you how
like I
can
said,
you live off of that? How can you raise a family off of that?
and you get and you get these, and I'm gonna call it like it is. You get racist. I'll call it like it is because anybody who fight against, like, any poor person or any working class person who fight against the growth of other working people, you're a racist. I'm gonna call it like it is. You are, because there's no reason for you as something that can benefit you. You're going against it, and I think, like I said, that irritates me the most is when you have other working people, other poor people, who is saying who is saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe they're going on strike. Why would they do that? They should be glad that they're working."
Mm-hmm.
And you sit there, you looking like, well, why? Like, you act like that by you siding with wealthy rich people. You're acting like that you're gonna get a piece of the pie, which you're not. You're not. The system isn't built for you to be like them.
Right.
That's the like I said, the concept of capitalism. The concept of it, yes, it works. The concept of it, but the reality is not working. It's
It's
not
not.
working.
It's
When you
not working.
have, it's crazy because I just found out Arby's, right? People sit there, and they look at, it, they go, "How is Arby's still in business?" Okay, who eats at Arby's? Who does this? Like, you see all these jokes, right? But
Yeah.
here's the thing: Arby's owns companies. They own other company. Hold up,
Right.
Arby's.
But that's how they stay in business.
Yeah, that's
Because
how that's
there's
one
nobody
business
ever in
pays
Arby's.
for the
Arby's
other.
will stay empty.
But see, that's a tax. But see, the sandwich place Arby's is a tax write off for them. If it's corporate,
So here's the thing: one company owns. So basically, it's a company called Flynn Restaurant Group.
Oh yeah, I heard
Flynn
of them.
Restaurant Group. They own Applebee's,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They own Applebee's too.
Arby's,
Yeah, they own a lot.
Taco Bell, Taco Bell, Panera
hmm
Bread,
Uh huh.
Popeyes. Like,
Yeah, what?
there is no competition.
There is no competition. It's only the illusion that there is.
It's the illusion of it, but
So when you talk about so that way, honestly, this makes sense because this actually trickles down. So when customer service at one particular place goes down, and then you get a person say, "Well, I'm never going back here again. I'm going to such and such." It really
It
doesn't
doesn't
matter because
matter.
the same money is going to go to the same umbrella. It's all under the
Right.
same. It's all under the same tree.
So again, how is that helping us as consumers, as Americans? If this is capitalism, right here,
Yeah,
how is that helping the average man?
it took away small business.
It
It
takes
takes
away
away
small
small
business.
independent business
Yes.
because that small independent sandwich shop can't keep up
They can't keep up because
because they have
they
because
can afford they can afford to make a sandwich
Look at it.
way much cheaper than it is for
them for
than
them.
Look,
a mom and pop place
look,
to
That's what I'm
make.
saying. Yeah,
Flynn Flynn
Yeah.
Restaurant Group owns and operates 460 Applebee's,
yeah. That's pretty
Mhm.
much all the whole country.
386 386 Arby restaurants, 280 Taco Bells
Yeah,
across 33 states, generating 2.3 billion in sales.
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
The only thing they don't own is McDonald's and
Yeah.
the only thing they can't touch is McDonald's and Burger King
I
and
mean,
whatever.
because McDonald's is big enough, it's here,
Oh yeah,
but
they're
McDonald's is
their own entity. Yeah,
it's
McDonald's
yeah,
is their
Their
own
own
entity.
they're
entity.
their own entity. They franchises.
They're their
McDonald's
own
their own
entity.
entity. Burger King. It is crazy because like I said KFC, right? Remember how KFC always have Pepsi? They always
They
sell
used to,
Pepsi and
yeah, they used to.
no, they still do
Oh, but that's because they owned
yeah,
by
because they owned by the same
yeah they
company.
owned by
Like
the
I said,
same
The
company.
PepsiCo Corporation.
yep,
Yeah,
Yeah,
owned by PepsiCo Corporation. Yeah.
and I remember listening to Business Wars. That's another good podcast you should listen to. Business Wars, and they got
yes,
into the history of KFC. And I know the Colonel is rolling in his grave right now because
Well,
this is not how he wanted
they
it.
snookered him out of the business.
Well,
oh no,
well,
wait, hold up,
no, no. Well,
let's be fair
hold on.
because
He
hold up,
got
hold up,
he got what he deserved, kind of, because he swindled out. He swindled some people out.
Oh yeah, oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah. So it was kind of like you saw it.
poetic justice.
Yeah, yeah.
You ever see that program? What is it? Foods that built America. That program
Yeah, yeah, I
comes
remember. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
on
seeing.
yeah.
Yeah,
history. I think it comes on the History Channel. It called foods that built America, and they talk about KFC and McDonald's and all of them. How they got started and the things that they do and stuff like they have some they have some very treacherous people that actually run these companies.
Oh
oh yeah,
when you look at it, corporations did the original people dirty.
Yeah.
But regardless of if it's poetic justice or not, they did them dirty. The corporation that now got McDonald's, or the corporation that had McDonald's, screwed the brothers out of business.
Right, right.
yep.
So like I said, corporation has been in the blueprint of this country for a while.
Oh wow,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
I think that was like the beginnings, or part of the early stages of them benefiting. But eventually, everything everything has an end. Everything
I think
has an end.
eventually the rate that the corporations are going,
Everything has an end.
it's going to wind up eating its own tail. It's going to wind up
What
eating
that
itself.
I think that's what we're seeing. We're seeing the beginning
Yeah,
stages of these corporations, not just in the food industry, but everywhere. Look at
yep.
the housing market. The housing market
Huh.
sucks in this country,
Yes.
and I think it's going to end up eating itself. There was a new apartment complex. Um, Remember, I was talking to you unqualified, and I showed it to you. And
Yeah.
for a studio apartment, they were giving $2,400 a month for a studio. Not even 700 square feet, about 650 square foot apartment studio. $2,400. Now that's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And like I said, there's nobody living in these apartment complexes. They're building they're building these new complexes, but there's nobody in them.
Can't afford it.
They can't afford
But
it,
see,
and then they turn around and they fake turn these lights on in some of the rooms to make it look like there's people living in them, but there's really no people living in those things.
it's nothing. But you know, yeah. But again, that's like I said, our government subsidizes that by giving them tax credit.
Yes,
Yep.
that's why it's like that. Because you
That's the
think that they
reason why
would
it's
build it?
like that. And they give them tax credits because of the fact that nobody. So they're saying they're losing money. They build them to lose money.
Yeah.
They build these places to lose money.
and what's going to
And
happen
it's
is
it.
they're going to start eating on itself, and I think that's what we're
Yeah.
going to start beginning to see. And instead of
Mm-hmm.
making it affordable to get actual people living in those places, they rather keep it at the high rate and pretend to have people living in those things.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually, like I said, it's going to start eating on itself, and then it's going to have no choice. Everything has to have an end.
Oh yeah.
Everything has to have an end. So they are going to have their end, where
Yeah.
they're going to have to give in. They're going to have to give
Oh
in
yeah.
to the average working people,
Mm-hmm.
and come back down to the average working person's level. It's going to have to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to
Oh yeah.
be. It's not going to happen without resistance. There's going to be a major resistance, I think.
Yeah. Yes, it always is.
No, but I'm saying there's going to be a major resistance on epic proportion, even more than what we're seeing now.
Okay.
That's going to cause it to come crumbling down.
Yep.
Like I said, it's going to be how much are people, but like I said, it's how much are people willing to sacrifice and go without because they've been, educating us and programming us to that we can't go without,
Mm-hmm.
or thinking that we can't.
Mm-hmm.
So people are just going to eat up, and there's going to be a couple of people that are just going to sit there and bite that, and take it, and going to sit there and accept it, and pay the $2,400 a month to live in a studio apartment.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. There's no way.
Mm-hmm.
There was what, another uh, apartment complex that had multiple units, a lot of units, hundreds of units, these micro units, and turn
Mm-hmm.
around and said, "Hey, well, uh, you got to make, uh, you got to make up to 60, you got to make up to 80 to $100,000 a year to live here." Now, how many people, on average, is making that much money per year?
Well, on the average, none
That's what I'm
because
saying. That's
yeah.
what I'm saying. So that means you don't want anybody to live in this space.
Pretty
I
much.
think the average income is what I think was about now. I think it's about what 70,000.
I think it's lower than that. Let's,
Oh yeah. Okay.
Wait a minute.
Let's see. Hold on.
Yeah, the
Average.
average the average American income.
Income, yearly income.
Now the house median. This is house median.
Okay.
So the house median of and this is based off of uh 2022. So the
Okay.
house median is about 74,000.
Now, house median meanings four person household.
Yeah.
That's what they mean by house median. So The average salary nationwide. So here's the thing: the average salary nationwide, and this was yeah, this is about 21, 22. I would like to see the difference now. So
Hmm.
let's see what the average. Because I think, oh, here we go by age. So this is by Forbes. This was done by Forbes. Because I think that's more important is the age groups. So
Okay.
the generational gaps that they have. So this is by Forbes, and this is relevant 2023. So pretty much the median American earnings peaked at the 45 to 54 age range. So the ones that's making the most money are between the ages of 45 to 54. The biggest jump in salary from one age group to the next is between 20 to 24 and 25 to 34, meaning that's when most people make the most substantial jumps in their career. Younger
Hmm.
earners in the 16 to 19 age group tend to make an average of 59.92% less than older workers. All right, so let's get into the age group. So the 16 to 19.
What is the average
So here's the go.
yearly income
So the
in
16 to
that?
19-year olds weekly earning is $611 a week, which is a
$63,214. The median income in the U.S. is $44,225.
yeah. I figured it was lower, so it's like 44,000.
Oh, okay. I got it right here for you. Let's see. For the average personal income in the U.S. is $63,214 a year,
That's the
and
average.
the median the median income is 44,225.
So that's more realistic. So that means the
Yeah.
peak, the highest that somebody's making on average is 60,000, 60 something thousand, whereas the
Yeah.
typical average is 44,000.
44. Yeah.
Which
Mm.
here we go.
And
So
with that amount of money, you wouldn't be able to afford
you
that.
still can't afford it.
You can't afford it.
Nope.
No. Because at that point, I'll not base it on say let's say that when I was working with Penn, I was making when I was making well that was before I retired a few years before I retired I was making in West almost 60,000 a year. That was I'm gonna say back that was back in 20 that was back in maybe 20 about 2005 or something like that.
Yeah.
So if he that's what I was making then, and it said like, and I know back then, a mortgage we were paying a mortgage rate of about at that time was about maybe what 750 bucks a month.
Oh yeah. Now a mortgage can get. I see mortgages now up to like $3,500 a month
Right?
for a
Yeah.
Yes.
mortgage.
Yes.
For a mortgage.
So you look at the difference.
Big time. But the
Big
pay
time
rate
difference.
hasn't changed.
The pay rate haven't changed much.
No.
Uh-uh.
So where is this median coming from? It's only coming from, so that means the ones that are making the money at the top raises the average. But the
Right.
people at the middle, at those middle age groups, anywhere between the ages of, I would say between the ages of 25 to 25 to 55. So the average, here's the average yearly, and this is from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. So the average starting at age 25 is 38.3 on
Mm-hmm.
average. 38.3 per year. That's about $18.50 per hour,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So
That's
from
at 25.
that's at 20,
25.
let's
That's
say 25, yeah. So let's say
yeah.
25 to 35, that jumps up to 52.9. So
Okay.
38, 38. So we got 38.3 jumps up almost 20 years later, or 10 years later, sorry, 10 years later, you make 52.9. So
Mm-hmm.
what's the difference in that, roughly?
Yeah.
Roughly how much in a 10-year period? How much
Man,
more?
what are you trying to test my memories?
Well, I'd say you got
Yeah.
calculator.
Oh
Wait a minute,
man.
unqualified. You got a
Calculator?
calculator?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, put a calculator up.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so we have 38.3, 38,300
$38,300.
minus 52.9, 52,900, 52,900.
52,900. That's 14,600.
All right, so $14,000 in a 10-year period. You get paid
Mm-hmm.
more. So let's take 10 years from that. Let's go 35 to 45. Now you got from 52.9, now you go up to 63.5 or
Okay.
60,
That's that that's
63.5. That's about
that's the
$11,000.
average of that's the average of now. Yeah.
About
Okay.
63.5. So you only bump up 11,000 in a 10-year period. $5 more per hour if you're going by the hourly
Mm-hmm.
rate, because the hourly rate
Yeah.
from from 35 is 25.50 to $30.50.
Right.
So take another 10 years, guess what? So from 45 to 55, it goes from 63.5 to 64.4. So you jump from less than in 10 years from your 40s to your 50s. On average, there was a less than $1,000 jump.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, it goes backwards. You start to lose money in your retirement
Yep.
age.
Right. Absolutely. Yes.
You start to lose money. Now,
Yes.
how do you expect people to survive off of this?
Yeah. See, yes, that's exactly the same thing. Just like I was telling you, when I was working, that's the reason why I retired. Was because the more that I worked, the less money I made. Now, does it make sense?
No, it doesn't.
But it's the truth. And the reason why you get paid the extra money that you, because you're not paying no longer into the retirement system, because you already your retirement is already maxed to the maximum. You remember, Bruce? I used to always argue with Clarence about that. I said, Clarence, you should retire, because once you retire, the thing is you're working for nothing if you continue to work.
Yeah.
There's no need for you to work. You know. But he never could understand. He never understood that. As I said, because I said, he said, how is it I'm getting paid? I'm still getting paid. I said, no, you're getting paid the exact same amount all the time. Yes, you go home with a paycheck, but you're not making the maximum amount of money that you should be making. The extra money a lot of times it comes to pay into your retirement. But once your retirement maxes out, you can't put any more into it. So the best thing to do is to retire so you can get that money back. But
Yeah.
don't know, didn't know anything about
Yeah,
that. Oh, just work and pay your bills.
yeah.
That's
That, that,
it.
that's insane. That's insane, man. But like I said, uh, the next thing is I guess we can talk about the movie now. So the movie that we did see yesterday, me and Unqualified did was Outlaw Johnny Black.
Yeah.
So and I personally thought Outlaw Johnny Black was a good movie. I thought it was a good movie. I'm a big fan of Michael Jai White.
Michael J. White.
Yeah,
Michael J. White.
yeah. I'm a big fan of Michael Jai White and his stuff and his movies. And like I said, it's an all black film. Black directed, black produced, things like that. Uh, I thought it was thrilling, it was exciting, and all around good cast. I think they threw a good nod into to Fred Williamson and Jim Brown because off those black exploitation movies that they used to do with the westerns back then. I think that was a good play on that. But the one thing that had me kind of disturbed was nothing in the movie, but it was outside of the movie. It actually the people in the theater. So it released. Actually, the movie released I think last week, September 15th, and when we went to go see it yesterday, I think we could count 7 people in the theater, unqualified,
Yeah, I mean, it was only playing at one theater anyway.
and it was only playing at one theater. It was playing
It
at
was
one.
Cherry Hill.
No, wait. It was playing at one theater, and it was only 7 people in the theater. When we saw it, it was in prime time too. It was prime time, about what 6, 7 o'clock.
It's 6 o'clock. Oh, 6 o'clock.
All right, and it was 7 people total in that theater. They gave it one of the smaller theaters, which I expected. I didn't expect it to compete with anything else. But for like I thought it was a breath of fresh air because for a lot of the times when we see black movies today or black cinema today, it seems to be like the same thing. It seems to take from uh, the same blueprint and has the same origin, no matter what. It seems like that. This one was very different. It was a breath of fresh air to actually see a black western, even though it was. I like the nod to the black exploitation westerns, but still it was different because it was a black western. And how many do you actually get to see like that? And I think it's not going to get enough recognition, say because it doesn't fall in line with the typical things that people want to see. Uh, I think more people went to go see The Blackening than they probably went to go see this. And if we were to find the numbers to opening week of The Blackening to opening week of this, it would be The Blackening would probably win by a mile. And The Blackening, I never see it. I refuse to see it because it was horrible when I saw the preview of it.
Let's see. Open weekend.
I
See
thought,
the
like you said, go check and see what the opening weekend of The Blackening.
6 mil.
All right, so
Six
opening
million.
weekend, The Blackening made 6 million. And what was opening weekend for Johnny Black? Outlaw Johnny Black.
Let's see. Give me a second. Uh,
Because I refused to see that movie. When I saw the preview of it, and the first thing I saw, they had a game board, and in the middle of the game board was a Sambo blackface centerpiece. I was like, I'm not watching this.
Yeah.
and people think that was funny, like laughing and all that. So I was like, that's not funny. There's nothing funny
Yo,
about that.
that reminded me so much of Bamboozled.
Yeah, which is a great
That
movie. If you could, that's a hard cop. That's a hard movie to find. I don't think they'll have it on digital, but it's a hard
uh
movie to find. If you can get a hard copy of
yeah,
Bamboozled,
they don't got the opening yet. The opening
okay,
price for that yet.
all right. So it's not there yet, but
Yeah, it's not there yet.
but people will run to go see those type of buffoonery movies. Other than Outlaw Johnny Black was good. I think it had a great message on forgiveness.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It had a great thing on forgiveness. Now, spoiler alert,
Which
we might talk about a little bit about the movie, but
well that's what I'm gonna say like this.
it's not
That is the
necessarily a
main
spoiler. But I think
no,
I think it was about forgiveness, where
it's about forgiveness, yeah.
where outlaw Johnny Black is one of the Rough Riders killed his father when he was young, and he spent most of his life up to that point searching out for
Revenge.
revenge. And before his father died, he was a preacher and a showman. So he gave a sermon on forgiveness. And then he asked the young Johnny Black, what did you, in your words, what did you get out of what did you get out of the sermon of forgiveness? And he said what he said. And then one of the antagonists in the spot, killed his father. And he spent his most of his life up to that point looking for revenge. Long story short, you know, uh, he come to find out that forgiving or forgiveness is not for the person that did you wrong. The forgiveness
Right.
is for you
To free yourself.
to free yourself from the prison, to free yourself from the the turmoil and the grief and like I said, the shackles of the imprisonment of your prison, but not knowing the whole time that the prisoner was actually you.
Hmm. Yeah.
And then
And a
once
lot
you,
of times and a lot of times in that situation, you are in prison. See,
yeah,
these are the little tricks and things like this that happens spiritually.
yeah,
You know that your spirit becomes trapped, and you know how to get away. The only thing that you know is to hate
yeah,
and to do anything, and knowing that the things that you're coming up with, the hate and all the other things, is all the time killing you.
yeah. He
You
spent
will
most of his
eventually
life. Yeah,
die.
yeah. He spent
You will
most of his life.
eventually die from it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He spent most of
And
his life looking for that revenge, and no matter where he would go, he would always get into some sort of trouble.
right,
Trouble would always try to find it, and it was because of he was holding on to that hate.
that hate. You will eventually die if you hold on to it.
Yeah,
That's in real life. Just in real life, you get rid of it, and the
yeah.
only way that you can get rid of it is go to the source and say, "Look, I forgive you.
Yeah,
I
Hmm.
forgive you," and then and that's it, and walk away.
yep,
Yeah.
yeah. But my thing was, I thought it was a very good movie with a very good message, but
Oh yeah,
nobody wants to see that, especially when it comes again. Seems like when it comes to black cinema, everybody wants to see and seems like they're attracted towards buffoonery.
yes. Well, the thing is that a lot of us now is blind. We're walking around blind, and we can't see. We can't we can't see the truth of in things.
Yeah. So, like I said,
And yeah,
we're talking about, like I said, yeah, you're right. We're blind because we rather see movies we rather see movies that's based off of religious possession of demons
demons and all
Yeah.
this
and
other stuff.
exorcisms and things like that. But when something has a movie or a good profound thing, even though it has some comedy, it's rooted in comedy. But like I said, there's truth rooted in comedy
Mm-hmm.
about forgiveness, and I think a lot of people in today's world needs to learn a lot about forgiveness.
Forgiveness.
There's a lot of people in this world and in this city in particular
Mm-hmm.
is holding on to a lot of hate.
Oh yeah,
They're
Yeah.
holding on to a lot of hate and a lot of turmoil. You know,
yeah.
and you know, this movie will go unseen, but uh, you know, the satanic possessive movies will make record breaking
Oh
weekends
yeah.
coming up
Oh yeah.
Like
because
none.
everybody
Like
loves to
none.
see.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Matter of
Oh
fact,
yeah.
let me see this. Hold on, wait. I'm just going. I'm just to see the none.
But see, but see that way you're getting into something that yes, you're coming into that season whereby they're worshiping
Yeah,
ghosts and
yeah,
Yeah.
witches and all
So
these
so
other
opening week.
demonic things,
So
yeah,
it's an opening
and
week.
and making people believe that that's the right thing to do,
yeah,
Like the
and it's totally wrong. It's totally wrong.
yeah,
so
It's
opening week.
totally wrong.
So opening week of the Nun 2, $204 million
yeah.
worldwide.
Yeah,
So the
yeah.
opening of the Nun.
And but see how it perverts things.
Well,
Oh
It
first
yeah.
of all, yeah.
perverts
Well, first
things.
of all, it perverts. It perverts, and I find it very interesting how they monetize the they take Christianity and make it into something demonic. Where specifically, you see Catholics do it. Because, like I said,
Oh yeah.
the nun is the Catholic Church, and
Mm-hmm.
they
It's
turn
supposed to
around
be women that,
and
that devote
yeah,
themselves to
and the
God.
nun is supposed to be a nun or ex nun or whatever it is like that. That's actually a demon, but in the
Demons.
Catholic,
See,
but in
that's
the
what I'm
church, but
saying.
within the church. But my thing is, where are the clergymen to denounce this stuff? They turned
Yeah.
around and they turned around and what did they told people not to watch something? Why don't they tell people to boycott that?
Well, I'm gonna tell you something too while we're on this subject. Uh, it's not just that. This basically about anything that we do now is perverted. Gospel music. Gospel music has even though they say Jesus and all these other things, but they really don't mean it.
Well, it's funny because South Park did an episode. South Park did an episode calling out like what's the name, gospel music,
Okay.
and it was basically saying that like, all right, we're gonna come out with an R&B hit. Oh baby, oh baby, oh baby, baby, I love you. Right?
Hmm.
Doesn't do well. So he said, well, instead of putting oh baby, why don't you put oh Jesus? Oh Jesus, oh Jesus, oh Jesus, I love you, Jesus. And boom, big hit.
Yes,
Because
but see, God is really not in that. See,
nah,
it's not.
you just use
Yeah.
it. You use it as a tool. Use it just
Man,
to.
no, I'm telling you something now. I saw something on television the other day. I'm not going to say what
Yeah. Yeah. That's fine.
channel was calling on,
Yeah. That's fine. Yeah.
but I saw something on it, and it was about what's that girl saying that sings she she she's real popular. What's her name?
I don't know. I can't remember. But
Uh,
yeah. But
oh my God! Yeah. Well, at any rate, what happened is that she got on there, and when she does her show, she comes in. She comes in with all these provocative clothes on. I mean, form fitting stuff.
yeah.
It actually looked like she's naked. You know, and And she thinks that she always profess, oh well, God this and God this and God this and that and Jesus this and all these other things. But yet she does all these provocative things on the stage
Yeah. Yep.
and making it say, well, no, that's the God I serve. Well, what God do you serve that accepted? Because the God that I serve said this is wrong.
Hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? The things that you're doing is wrong.
Yeah.
And so but you're trying to say God will accept you to come out on the stage half naked and shake your butt, and then when you talking about God and stuff like you call God, well, my father, mother. How is that? What is that? God has always been deferred to, and it has been explained to me as long as I can ever remember it in the Bible as He, not father, mother, and all this other stuff that people come up with. They come up with these things, and they trying to make people and people thinking that they're right to play the places that you go to. They're packing and got people believing all this crazy stuff.
Hmm. Yeah.
And they're making it right. See, this is the trick of the devil. And then and it's his time, and he's making light of it.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I tell you, and I used to say it, as a joke, but I say it for real now that this world is going to hell in the handbasket.
Yeah.
And it's designed to be that way.
Yeah. But I have a question though for this. In regards to
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood and how they do their movies, and especially when it comes to
Yeah.
like Hollywood, like horror movies. It seems like over the last 10 years they've based their horror movies around religious connotation. But
Mm-hmm.
mostly, if not all, 99.9% of it has been surrounded around Christianity. My question
Right.
is, why do the head clergyman of the Catholic or Christian faith allow it? You don't, because my point being is, you don't see a movie about an Islamic uh, possession or demon, or Judaism demon, or Hindu demon, or anything like that. But Christianity seems to be monetized, where people make the most amount of money in the most unprofound and provocative way, but yet nobody speaks on it. But for the
Mhm.
most littlest thing, for a movie, people will try to protest it, but not
Well, there
protest
are
this.
there are there are people that do protest it. I mean, there are what I would say, and this is the way that I say it, is that there are a lot of Christians that do protest it, but they are not heard because they don't want to be heard. They say it, but people are not hearing it. They don't believe it because right now we're living in a world where there's a lot of noise. And what I mean by saying a lot of noise is to say that so much stuff is coming at you and all at once, you being uh, uh, slapped in every direction with all kinds of crap that's coming up, and people are just accepting it because it's easy, it's good, or it tastes good, or it feels good, and all these other things. But they're not looking at the whole picture of the thing. So yes, there are people that is saying something, but they're not being heard.
Yeah, I get it, but my point, I mean,
No,
but my thing is, why don't the highest of the clergy? I'm
oh,
not going to say
and
that.
I
I'm
mean,
not going to mention the position. Why don't they say, "Hey, look, this ain't acceptable."
Because
But
but
the thing, because here's the thing. Because the thing about it is, you hear these highest people will sit there in the name of Christianity or like that, saying that, oh, I Pokemon is the devil
let's say
because
they
you
speak
know
off, they
that.
speak out on Harry Potter
Harry,
and stuff,
don't watch Harry Potter's witchcraft.
but yet they won't speak out on like the Nun or the Conjuring or the
hmm
or things like that. That's
yeah.
that's my point. They'll talk about not watching and speak out on Harry Potter and movies like that, which is pure fantasy.
hmm
But yet, and it's not tied into religion. I mean, you can if you want to dig, if you want to deep dive into it, but I don't think that's the original purpose for those movies being created. I think the purpose of those type of movies being created was strictly for fantasy, science,
hmm
or scientific fantasy, whatever you want to call it. But like
Okay,
movies like the Conjuring and the Nun and all of those things, that's not fantasy. That's
that's
them.
spiritual.
Yeah, they're taking horror, and it ain't like horror like how we used to watch when we was kids, like Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th. That's different.
Halloween and stuff like that. You
Halloween,
know,
Michael Myers and stuff like. No, here they have like the Nun, the Conjuring, where things is wrapped around Christianity, and there's a demon that's too strong for Christianity. If you think that's how they
Oh,
put it, that's how they push it.
but in this, they are going. They will now. The evil spirits will try to annihilate the name of Jesus, but Jesus' name will prevail because it's strong. He is strong. But see, but now, and that's what it is. So you're gonna get it. You're gonna hear it. They're gonna be attacking the Christian faith. You know,
Hmm.
about a lot of things because of the fact that that's what it's designed to do, to destroy. See, but people look at that stuff, man. I mean, look, I don't like it. I don't mess around with that.
But
I
no,
don't look
no,
at it.
and now, and like you said, you have people selling out their own family members. I think Unqualified spoke on this, where it was a young girl on social media who tricked her mother into seeing that movie, The Nun. Who
Mm.
was,
yeah,
the
yeah.
mother was religious, extremely religious, and she heard the movie, the title, The Nun, so she thought it was going to be something.
No. She what happened was the daughter tricked her mom into thinking that they're going to see Ninja Turtles.
Okay, all right.
Oh,
And when she got into the theater and the when the movie started, she realized this ain't Ninja Turtles. I don't know what this demonic thing is, but it ain't Ninja Turtles. So she was terrified. And she pulled out her rosary and she was praying and everything. And the daughter sitting there laughing at her reaction. I'm like, that's not funny.
Yeah, you just sold. Yeah,
it's,
and so now you
That's
get a
not funny.
whole. You got a section of people that are selling out their own for likes and laughs. But like you said,
I don't want. I don't want to get into this wild, but in the Holy Bible, there are several verses and things that talks about this, especially in Revelations. The very things that you're talking about, it's in Revelations that these things have to before the Lord God returns. These things are going to take place. But the thing about it is, the warning had been put out. But it's wicked. We're living in some wicked times.
oh no, oh yeah.
I never, yeah, I said I never thought that I would. live to see these days, but it's here.
Oh, man, yeah,
And I mean, it can happen to your kids, you, anybody else.
no,
But
yeah,
that's what he said. Your eyes have to be open.
yeah, no, yeah. Said
You gotta
nobody,
open. You gotta open your eyes, and you gotta open your ears up to hear.
yeah,
Because
so
right now, it's a lot of noise.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of noise going on.
yeah, yeah. You're right.
You know.
No, nobody's exempt. So nobody's
No,
exempt from it. So
and it kind of boils down to what I was saying earlier before we started, how, like you said, you have to be grounded. You have to be grounded. Now, whether you're a Christian or you're Muslim, whatever, it doesn't matter. You just have to be grounded on your on your own beliefs, because there's a lot of trickery out there. And it's a lot, like I said, just like the movie we called for, that we saw. They'll talk about forgiveness. See, in order to forgive, you have to be grounded.
Yeah.
If you're not grounded, there's no room for you to forgive, and that's why you get a lot of people on social media, especially now. I'm speaking for this through, and I call Black TikTok, because I mean I'm on
Okay.
TikTok. I create videos on TikTok. Um, Classic game of the days. I stick to what I enjoy. But one thing about Black TikTok that I've noticed, there has been a ongoing beef between black women and black men.
Hmm.
And I can see the hate, and I say it like it is. I see the hate of black women hating black men, and the hate of black men hating black women, and all the talking points are never actually there, because
Yeah.
there's so much hate and unforgiveness between us, and it's quite irritating. It is quite irritating when watching it, because you're just like every time there's majority of the time, 99% when there's a black creator, whether it's man or woman, it's always talking about what the black man don't do or what the black woman don't do. Like the new topic now is the fact that why, again, we're glorifying money. Money's always the basis. You shouldn't date no broke man. All that kind of stuff. And it's just like we're just broken. And you look, I'm looking at look at the other communities, and yes, they have problems. They have their war between their own genders, but they're not loud like how we are about it. Letting other race cop in and chime in and put their 2 cents in. It's disgusting. It's nasty. And the fact that we're not grounded, especially on social media, I say if you're not grounded, stay off of social media. Stay
I
off the
agree.
social media. If you're not grounded, stay off of social media, because you're going to be depressed. That's why depression's at an all-time high, because you're not grounded. You have no relationship with God.
Mm.
You have nothing.
I personally think it's harder to be grounded because once you are
It,
grounded and you see and you have them and me and Righteous Dad talked about this a couple weeks ago. Uh, the universe gives certain people special goggles, magic goggles, if you will, or special goggles. And once you get them things, you can't take them off. You can't give them to nobody. They are yours. And when you have them, you see things that other people don't see. You hear things that other people normally don't hear. And when you become grounded and clear of thought and clear of mind, that's
You
where it
could be
just
able to say
starts. You just getting started. Because
you're getting started.
that's when all the resistance is going to come at you. Because you
Yeah.
see it for what it really is. And they
Believe
know.
me, yeah, yeah, and believe me, I see things that a lot of people don't see, and I keep my mouth shut, you know, and you just move on, you keep going. And you try to tell somebody, say, hey, listen, these things, these things happen. Listen, things happen. I even talked to a person. I told them about. I witnessed to them about the things that I had experienced, especially back then when I had the gangrenous appendix. You remember that surgery?
Yeah.
And I told them about that. And the person had enough nerve to tell me, says, "Well, that was a demon that came to you." I said, "Why would a demon come and tell me something good for me? A demon don't like me from jump. Why would a demon come to tell me something to help me?"
Hmm.
They say, "Man,
Yeah.
where are you getting this from? How can you say that?"
Yeah.
I said, "How can you say that? How can you say that when what you're saying, a demon would not come to help you. He come to destroy
Hmm.
you." You know?
Yeah.
And I was really right. And I told that person, I said, you gotta open your mind, open your eyes and see that things that happens to you, and especially in the spiritual world and everything else, it happens to you because you're bombarded with it. But you have to be able to discern what is good and what isn't. You got to sit there and look at it. You got to analyze it, look at it. That's the reason why one thing about one thing. Yeah, even when you guys are growing up, we always there. Also, we always try to encourage you guys to analyze things, look at it, tear it apart, see how it's put together. If it's not right, leave it alone.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Leave it alone. That's not for you. We
Yeah.
don't look at things. We don't, and I'm saying it as people. We don't
Yeah.
look at things. We don't hear. We run our mouths too much. Sometimes you see things, you got to shut your mouth and just look and listen. you know,
Yeah.
and it will present itself.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're
Man,
right.
yeah, you gotta look and listen.
We
And
have to.
yeah,
No, go ahead. Go
yeah.
ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No,
I was
no, go.
no, because I was gonna say, just like some of the things I've been learning. Like I said, this is a practice. I've been
Mm-hmm.
learning to respect the power of silence and
Mm-hmm.
and observation and
That's
reflection.
right. And reflection.
Respecting the power of silence, observation, and reflection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. you know, and look, it was asking me the other day. I said, "Man, look," I said, "I'm working hard to try to make it through from one day to the next here." And I said, and some of the things that you see, I never forget uh, a friend of mine who was there. I mean, he's passed on now, but and I was telling him about one time he's praying at his church, and he's at the pulpit and he's praying, and I'm just having to just open my eyes up and just look around, and man, people walking around, having the conversation, walking out the
Hmm.
doors, down the steps, and he's praying.
Hmm.
I mean, number one, if somebody prays, you stop and you give them reverence to that prayer.
Yeah.
You would give them respect.
Hmm.
So I told him, I said, sometimes when I said, because he always was the one that always tell you close your eyes and pray. I said, sometimes you got to open your eyes and pray
Hmm.
because all the stuff and the demons and everything else that's going on around is all happening right around while you are praying to God.
Hmm.
And he did it. He said, I prayed. He said, Harold, I did what you told me. He says, I did. I opened my eyes up and I prayed. He said, man, I never knew so much stuff was going on around me when I
Wow.
did that.
Yeah.
I said, that shows you how much that the people that you think, that that standing up in with you,
Uh-huh.
they're not really for you.
They're not really with you.
He said, he said, God bless his soul.
Yeah.
But he told I said, sometimes it don't befit, but it doesn't come out to you to open. I mean, to close your eyes, you open your eyes and look and see,
Mm-hmm.
because Satan is right there, man, right ready to put a dagger into you.
Yeah.
You know, you know,
It's crazy, man. That's
you know,
wild. Yeah, man.
I said,
But
what?
yeah, that's
I
wild.
have to,
That's wild.
huh?
No, I said that's crazy. Yeah, but like I said, we got a lot of stuff in. It's been a while since we did a recording, and I'm kind of glad. I like these. I like doing these recordings every now and then. We should. I gotta
Well,
depending on our schedules, it depends if we can do some more so than what we have been doing, but it's still uh refreshing for me and therapeutic for me to get on and do these recordings and talk with you guys.
Yeah.
So on our way to just wrapping it up for this episode of Absolute Zero, I am one of your hosts, Shenanigator J, and will my tag team partner sign out?
Yeah. See you guys later. Unqualified gamer, aka We Around. You can also find me on TikTok where you can see my classic game of the days and my YouTube channel, Unqualified Gamer, where I periodically stream. So if you're looking for any type of entertainment of video game quality, you can look at me there. And don't forget to get a library card. Go check out your local library.
All right. And Poor Righteous Dad, you want to sign out?
yep. I just want to let everybody know that God loves you. And listen, always read your Bible and study your Bible, and things will be okay. Even in the bad things that's happened to you, man, I know that things are really good. So that's the only thing I can say to you right now is God bless all of you.
All right, that's
All
great.
right.
So like I said, we're signing out. We'll probably do some movie reviews coming up. We'll let you guys know. But like I said, respect the power, use the power of silence and reflection. Please drink plenty of water, hydrate, stay hydrated, take care of yourselves. This is Absolute Zero Podcast signing off. Peace out.
Peace.